Today's Dallas Cowboys mailbag, all the questions you see coming in are from our live audience. So, if you want to have your questions featured on the only Cowboys YouTube channel with 100,000 subscribers, hit that big red button and join us today. From Kingpin Little John, what area on the team do you think will get better as the season goes that'll have the biggest impact on our team? My hope, frankly, is one of two spots. Interior defensive line, midseason boost for Neville Gallimore results in a better pass rush overall, and or the cornerback room. Either Kelvin Joseph or Deshaun Wright emerge, and that makes life easier on your pass rush. Those two sides, pass rush, pass coverage, they are interconnected. If one's really bad, you have a tough time. If one's elite, it makes your life easier. Right now, neither of them are close to elite for the Cowboys. From Jerome Roybal, I want us either to be a contender or bad enough to get Derek Stinner and Hamilton. You could have stopped at either be a contender or be bad. I don't want to be in the middle ground. Drafting a pick like 12 or 13, I hate it. Either be bad and get the draft capital, or I think for this year with healthy Dak Prescott, be a contender in the end. From DeLunatic, how many Dak pass attempts leads to a win versus the Dolts? He means, of course, the Bolts there. There is no correlation. In general, there are always exceptions. A higher passing volume ends up leading to more likely losses because in general, if you're throwing it more, you're going to lose. Now, the Bucs and Cowboys both threw it a ton, and they both were in position to win. So again, you can't always go black and white. In general, if you run the ball a lot, that normally means you're in a position to run the football. If the Cowboys have a bunch of runs, probably means they're going to win the game. But there is no magic number on either side. From Daniel Johnson, next draft, do you go offensive line in the first round, or would you go elsewhere? O-line is going to be one of your premier needs. So too could be edge rusher. So could be wide receiver 3. So could maybe be tight end depth if you lose Dalton Schultz. Could be safety again with all your free agents. So depends on what your needs look like entering the draft. But yes, offensive line is an area to monitor early here in September. Dylan Yowell, who is cornerback 3 at the end of the year? I think right now if we're factoring in Trevon Diggs clearly is cornerback 1. I think CB2 and 3 are up in the air. I hope that Kelvin Joseph or maybe Deshaun Wright end up emerging over Anthony Brown. I wouldn't be upset that much if Kennedy has more, boost over Jordan Lewis potentially. So I think it ends up being Joseph emerges by the end of the year in terms of the other outside starter. If that's what you mean by CB3, I hope it ends up being him. From Troy Daniels, what possible moves do you see the Cowboys making as it gets closer to the trade deadline? I sure hope we can make that, get some help for the secondary. Again, check back in a few weeks. I want to see what goes on with the other teams. It's too early to tell for certain, but I hope the Cowboys explore maybe some tackle depth, which is going to be so to define offensively. I look defensive line and maybe a rental at corner as well. Chris Romero, with Collins' issues, is there any buyer's remorse taking Parsons over Slater? Slater looks like a stud. If you're operating with hindsight, I get it, right? Look, my mindset was, and this is what most people thought, we all wanted the corner. Let's not lie to ourselves there, outside of a few outliers. We all wanted Surtain or J.C. Horn. Didn't get him. You can go back and watch tape of the live draft stuff. And the grades too. I wanted Rashawn Slater over Micah Parsons because of positional value. I get and understand why the Cowboys focused on defense. I'm not going to have buyer's remorse. I think that's a bit too reactionary. But if you wanted Slater over Parsons originally, that probably hasn't changed your mind so far. From Jeremy, hi Tom, there was a play in the second quarter where Dak almost got picked, and the Bucs player who dropped it took off his helmet and slammed his helmet. Isn't that still a penalty? Yes, that was a missed call by the officials. That should have been a flag against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, there are always going to be missed flags, but that was a big deal in terms of the impact there for the Dallas Cowboys. That could have totally changed the game in the end. Again, missed calls happen. It is what it is. I'm not going to freak out about it, but that's where we're at. From Bubble Boy Brett, any cornerbacks the Cowboys could trade for? Maybe the Broncos deal one like Kyle Fuller. So early in that Broncos game, Kyle Fuller checked out and Patrick Surtain checked in. And then Surtain got beat for a touchdown, and the rotation of Surtain more or less stopped at that point. The Broncos have some of the best cornerback depth in the NFL, and teams have called them, by the way, about potential moves. Well, now Ronald Darby is going on IR. He's going to miss some time. Kyle Fuller and Bryce Callahan and Surtain are going to be your number one your top three corners. So that was a team to watch. If they were bad, they won week 1. Now one of their guys are hurt. Because of that, I don't feel like that's in a great situation for the Dallas Cowboys to go make a trade for a Denver corner. But you guys can still give me a name. Any player who you want the Dallas Cowboys to trade for, try to keep it realistic. Let me know in the comment section. This will be the pinned comment, by the way, on today's video. A super chat from Jace. Hot take. Cedric Wilson gets 50 plus. Got a feeling. I don't hate that bet necessarily. It might be a bit of a stretch, but I don't hate it for the Cowboys. From Nate Lopez, how you feel about our interior defensive line against their O-line? I mean, a lot better than what I did necessarily. Oh, I flipped that. Sorry. Our interior defensive line. I was thinking the flip side there. Our defensive line, the Cowboys D-line, against their O-line. I think in the end, the likely outcome here is Matt Fielder played great. Corey Lindsey played great. Ode Abushi's not elite. The Cowboys' defensive line, for the most part, interior-wise, is going to be a mismatch pretty much every single week. From Cowboys legend twofold, Roy Williams. Is there any free agent corner we could sign? Anthony Brown is bad. The only name that makes even a lick of sense, if he's right mentally, is Richard Sherman. The other corners, even if you guys don't believe me, the other corners are worse than Anthony Brown. From Nuke House, give me a couple players the Cowboys could trade for at defensive tackle. I mean, I love the B.J. Hill trade. The Bengals sniped him, and then the Giants didn't even play Billy Price. I would watch out for the Jets. That team in particular has some intriguing names on the defensive line. You're not going to get Quinnen Williams. I'm sorry. But, what's his name? The Fort Hays State kid. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Nathan Shepard didn't play that much. Sheldon Rankins didn't play a lot either for New York. So those two names could be ones to monitor. Rankins in particular is one I would have some interest in if he ends up becoming available. Now, if you guys want to bet on the Cowboys to have some success going forward, you want to bet on them to maybe win the NFC, so be like me and bet on them to take down the spread, at least against the Chargers. I got that right against the Bucs as well. Go to BetUS, chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code that you see on screen. That is Cowboys125. Make sure you use chatsports.com/bet. The Cowboys are a 3-point underdog on the road against the Chargers. So I made money last week betting on the Cowboys to cover. I got them covering this week. I don't mind that particular bet. Go place some money and go get some money back by winning your bets. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code is Cowboys125. From DJ Grabber, how many rush yards for Zeke against the Chargers? I'll double his production. Over under 67.5. You guys are going to take the over. I think that's a fair over-under, though, for Zeke this week. Cole Haggerty, 2 firsts and a second for Surtain. No, I can't do that. That's too much to give up for a guy that you could have moved up higher to get in the end. So I like Surtain. I don't think that a player who's played 16 snaps in his NFL career is worth 2 firsts and a second at corner. That's not Jalen Ramsey. That's a big overpay for me when it comes to Surtain. From Dylan Yowell, all of a sudden about the defense. What about our special teams excluding kicker? I still don't like it. I mean, kicker was bad too. The special teams in week 1 was not good. Too many missed kicks. Your punter was fine. Your coverage was okay in the end. But special teams was a big-time red flag for the Cowboys in Week 1. Alan Williams, why hasn't Quinn played Bohanna more? That big body needs to be on the field. He is a good run stopper. Bohanna does not offer you much in the pass rush. Now, he still played plenty of pass rush snaps against Bucs. He played 20 snaps in total. That is not an insignificant amount for the Cowboys against the Bucs. But Tampa threw it a ton. They were not a run-the-ball first team. Bohanna, because he's a run stopper first and foremost, is never going to be an every down player. Frankly, I thought him getting 20 snaps was a pretty damn high amount for his first ever NFL game. A super chat, just $2 by the way, from our friend DC4L. $2 on that one. Thank you so much, my friend. Jace has this to say. One last, Marshall is a Giants fan. Huge L. He disrespected producer Marshall by spelling his name wrong. Jace, feel free and everyone else watching to go troll our producer Marshall at MarshallGreen_ on Twitter. Have some fun with that one. Landon Hill, how you feel about Cowboys legend Chris Westry playing for the Ravens last night? Thought he was fine. He didn't get picked on as much as I thought he was going to because the Raiders' game plan was throw it to Darren Waller every single play. It was intriguing from that standpoint. I'm glad to see him make some plays. I wish it were for the Cowboys. Thought he was fine. I think he ends up being more of a backup guy in the end for Dallas. Dusty Rhodes, what about trading for Jason McCourty, Dolphins corner? Well, two problems with that. A, he played safety. He is a safety right now for the Miami Dolphins, so cross that spot off. Also, he's starting for them. He played, I think, like 75 snaps in Week 1. Because of that, I'm not going to get my hopes up. Confidence level in the Cowboys. How you feeling after the Week 1 loss and now the issues with Gregory and Lawrence and Collins? Get your vote, not Lawrence, Gregory, Gallup, and Collins. Get your votes in for me using a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being no confidence, 10 being Super Bowl, baby. Get your votes in right now. All right, get to our next question here from Kevin, or from my burner account, super chat here. Would you be interested in Jeffrey Okudah for a day 2/3 pick now? No. Okudah's out for the year with an Achilles. Pass. He, unfortunately for Okudah, major red flags here. Banged up, not good first year. Now out for the year in year 2. He was bad in the first half for the Lions. So right now, absolutely no chance he does not help me. We can revisit in the offseason, but his stock is at an all-time low right now for the Lions. It's brutal. From Joseph Francis, do you think Jordan Lewis will have a breakout season? I hope so. He's been around the football a lot, which I like. I just wonder at this point, maybe if this is the best we've seen out of Jordan Lewis moving forward. Or at least he's peaked, I should say. Kevin Smith, sign Geno Atkins since the interior line had little pressure. I mean, I will kick the tires on him. I absolutely will. I was very underwhelmed and disappointed by Carlos Watkins in particular. My problem is, what does Atkins really have left in the tank? Once these interior D lineman guys hit 30+, once it's gone, it does not come back. I am concerned it has not, and it is gone for Atkins and it will not come back. Now, bring him in for a workout. Test him. Sure, I am down with that. You got to get inside into his medical. I don't think it's a guaranteed solution, though, however. So should the Cowboys go sign Geno Atkins? Type in Y for yes or N for no. From Big Phil with 2 L's. What difference to the team making to prepare late season for a playoff run? I mean, the biggest difference is your quarterback's healthy. Like, that's your number one thing that benefits you from the Cowboys. That's a huge difference, and that's why they played it so safe with Dak early on, to make sure he's good to go in December and January. Elise Pin, what do you think about signing Robert Foster? Brings you some speed and some vertical ability in case you lose more receivers to injury. So I like that pickup from the practice squad standpoint. From Dylan, to be clearer, I don't know a lot about fixing special teams. How do we fix it mid-year? Coaching issue? Personnel? Probably a bit of both. Look, in the end, if there are issues, it is on John Fossil. John Fossil has been given an unbelievable amount of power for a special teams coach. He's got a lot of his guys on those units. He's got his entire unit at punter, kicker, and special teams and long snapper, despite having previous good options on your roster. So the blame goes to John Fossil. The maybe in and out stuff, like one easy fix, kick the ball out of the end zone. I don't know why Zuerlein was not doing that in week 1. Now, we'll be live for week 2, by the way, just around the corner. Cowboys Chargers. If you want to join us for our watch party and maybe unveil some more mac and cheese ice cream, just a possibility there, hit that big red button and subscribe. That way you don't miss out on anything going forward. From Jace, I lied, the real last one, Marshall above Mitch. You feel better now, producer Marshall, even though he spelled your name wrong again. The backhanded compliment. Well done, Jace, on that particular one. I appreciate that. From DeLunatic, more likely, Dak over 330 or Zeke over 100 rushing yards. 100's not that much. 330's a little bit more. I want to say 100 for Zeke, but given the way this Cowboys team has played over the past year plus, I think it's more likely Dak goes for 330. I think it's closer this week, though, than what it was last week. From M, thoughts on Tyler Biadasz so far? Not badass. It was a brutal matchup, perhaps the toughest one he's going to face all year. But Biadasz was not good week 1. Now, a lot of that is because Vita Vea is an awesome football player, and I love him. I always have, always will. I get that. But let's be honest here that Tyler Biadasz did not play great. Tough position, 2 Connors versus a Connor and a Zach Martin alongside of him, but he did not have a great week 1. Hopefully, that is the floor, and we're going to get better and better play each week. The Lunatic, not yet, but need to see improvement from the young players. I think, yes, that's going to be the case going forward. The Cowboys are going to have to get better play from their young guys. It's early. It's not the end of the world quite yet.